testimony, and I gotta let you know on the Witness Box.
Welcome to the Witness Spot Podcast, where we interview our guests about the amazing things that God has done for them in their lives and how He has kept them throughout their struggles. I'm Thomas.
And this is Gabby.
And we're the hosts of the Witness Spot. Let's get into it. Today we have a special guest. To me, he's somebody who I looked up to for years. He's like an older brother to me, but I'm going to let him introduce himself.
My name is Bruce Bryant. I'm also known as BJ, and I grew up at Christ Apostolic Temple.
So how was childhood like for you growing up in church?
Well, it's a lot different than what it is now. It was more of everything.
Mhm.
So, and it was like that year after year. My whole childhood was like that. I was born and raised in the church, so everything, it's like my whole life was church.
Mm-hmm.
And Monday, I loved the Mondays because wasn't nothing going on Mondays. But Tuesdays was musician practice. Wednesday was church. Thursday was choir practice. Friday was Friday night revival. Saturday, might have to come to the kitchen for dinners.
Mm-hmm.
And Sunday, everybody knows what Sunday is, but there was an addition to the Sunday,
Right.
which was Sunday night service.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, it's just like me growing up there, and I was just like, we can stay home one of these Sundays and still make it to heaven.
Right.
I think they thought that if they stay home, they gonna miss rapture. That's how they thought. Like,
Yeah,
hey,
yeah.
we got to be at service. We don't know what's gonna happen. So,
Mhm.
I don't have any regrets of how I was raised. Because of how I was raised I believe is why I'm still around now.
Yeah.
So I will say that my former pastor, Bishop Jeremiah Reed, knew what he was doing, and God had him do it that way for a certain reason.
Mm-hmm.
Just growing up in the church, now that you give back, some of the things that you've been through, what's something you'd like to share with the younger generation to kind of help them on their way?
Well, there's a lot of influences out there that are very powerful, and they made it seem more appealing to be out in the street and live street life. And then when I would go to church, they'd say, well, it seemed like this is boring, and they're having more fun doing what they are doing, and I want to be doing what they are doing. So it's easy to get wrapped up into that type of lifestyle when they push it so heavily. They pay these people millions of dollars to be forerunners for this type of lifestyle. So it makes church not seem very appealing or cool. It makes it seem like it's a drag, it's boring, it's deadening. Yeah, so it's easy to get tricked into believing that lifestyle is worth it. You got a lot of young guys in the grave. They died early. They got tricked. That almost happened to me also, but by the grace of God, He set me aside. And when He set me aside was when I had time to reevaluate, rethink, and I always thought about how I didn't want to go to church. And I was like, I want to go to church now. Yeah, I think that's what's good for me. I started remembering how my parents raised me, how their lifestyles were, how they never went to jail, how they did the same thing every single day, how they didn't hang out with friends. We were their friends.
Yep.
If they did hang out, it'd be like a church function type thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they weren't out all night hanging with just random people and slinging us off on babysitters. They
Right.
were really hands-on.
Yep.
Because that's how Bishop Jeremiah Reed raised all the adults here to be.
Mhm.
So my dad didn't have a father figure. Then as he got older, his mother, which is my grandmother, Mother White, Opal White, she started attending the church, and then he got hooked into the church through my mom because he said, I like that woman. So, and my dad's been here ever since. And that's the reason why I was born. And when I look back over my life and I look at all the things that I went through, I used to wonder, like, how did I end up where I was at in my situation? And then I would play back over all the different influences I had because I was raised right. So I sat there and watched my dad grow as a father, which makes it easier for me now with my son. So I'm already understanding because I watched what happened, what transpired from my former pastor and my dad and how they dealt with me and how, because, you know, I could make a claim that I was probably the worstest kid at my church of all time. I could make that claim. And nobody would really refute me. They'd be like, "Man, you might just have it, BJ." I'm being serious here, you know. So I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I haven't had no squeaky clean past. I've been through a lot as a child. I got locked up when I was 17. I had a very turbulent childhood.
So, as you said that you got locked up when you were 17.
Yep, I got released when I was 30. So I went in as a kid, and that's where I turned into a man at was in there. That's where I grew up at. Where the plus was is all of those 17 years of what Bishop Jeremiah Reed has instilled in me. That's what kept me all those years. That's what kept me from turning gay in there, all type of different. I could hear him talking to me, like still ministering to me in my ear.
Yeah.
Like he was just right there. And you know, sometimes when I would get discouraged, I would call him, and pretty sure you guys know what I'm talking about. You know, when you just hear his voice, it would calm you. And that would last me for like a year or two, just hearing him one time.
Yeah.
I know from what I've been through in my life personally, I know for sure that he was a true man of God. He told me when I was about 11, he said, "You're going to have it hard coming up." He said, "But God is still going to save you." I didn't even know what he's talking about.
Right.
I said, "Have it hard." I said,
What you mean?
I'll plan on getting saved next year.
Right.
So, I know what you talking about. I'm finna get saved here soon. No.
Right.
That what he was talking about, it came. So, and another thing, I was not released until he prayed for me to get released.
Right.
It just dropped on him. They said during a service that and he said, let's pray for BJ.
I remember that.
And my sister came in the visiting room and she said, "Do you know that Bishop prayed for you?" She said, he called out your name. He yelled your name. When she told me that, I said, "Oh, I'm coming home."
Yeah.
I knew without a shadow of a doubt. Because look, I had been through a lot of stuff with the system, the parole board, the DOC, and I was unsure of what I'm going on 14 years now. I'm like, this is just the year, huh? Y'all ain't finna trick me.
Right.
But when she came and told me that what he did, I said, "Oh, I'm coming home." I knew it. So
yep, I remember that.
Yeah. So so you remember the prayer?
Yep. Just out of nowhere,
It
he's
was
like,
there.
pray for him. Let's go.
Yeah. That I knew I was coming home. I didn't have any doubts after that.
Right.
You know, all that money he sent you and all that time he's fought with you and all them prayers that he's prayed for you. Those were an investment.
Yep.
And now it is time when you get out, it's time for you to give back something on his investment. Not just for him, but for my glory. Your testimony is not for your glory, but it's for mine. It's not for you to shine, but for you to tell people about what I did for you through Bishop Jeremiah Reed's ministry. Because anything that's good in me comes from Bishop Jeremiah Reed's doctrine, his presence in my life. So, because I was like I said, I had a very turbulent childhood. So it's not me, and it doesn't come from me at all. I know that without a shadow of a doubt. Also, guys started to show me how after I was locked up, how things got better around here. So that he didn't actually need me.
Right.
But that he would use me if I let him.
Right.
That's what he wanted to make clear.
Yeah.
Is that, you need to go back to church. But I'm not asking you to come back because I need you. That's not why. I'm asking you to come back because that's why I brought you into this world, to be over here. So, and when you come back over here, know that you're not needed and that it's a privilege to be back here, because I could have let you die in the street, but I put you in prison to extend your life only to come back to Christ Apostolic Temple and to be of some service for my glory.
Yep.
And that's it.
Yeah. Similar story. My mom said when I was born, she said she pretty much did like off of that movie. They raised him up to the sun. She
Yeah,
said,
yeah.
"Here you go, Lord.
Yeah.
I
Use him."
remember that movie. Speaking of your mom, she's what I had a surgery just like maybe a month ago,
hmm
and had the surgery on Thursday. Church was Sunday, and I was in pain. I didn't want to move and then I started thinking about your mom, and I
hmm
said she would come straight out that hospital,
Man.
unhooked off the machine,
Yep.
and she would come. I said, I'm going.
hmm
I said, Sister Rick's watching her.
Yeah,
I
she
said,
was.
if she can do it, I can do it.
hmm
And I came in there limping in there, but hey, I made it to service.
Right.
Right.
And so we just don't know by what we do, what we're affecting. And like the our pastor says, Pastor Dwight he says, you don't know who's dependent on you. You
hmm
don't know who is really expecting you not to quit and really depending on you to
hmm
keep
Yep.
going. I got one example. I was in prison. I asked my father about my friend and asked him about his parents. We grew up together, we didn't go to the same church, but we grew up together. His parents were my parents. When they would come to school, PTA meetings, whatever, his parents would see my parents, they would talk.
hmm
And I asked him, my dad told me that they had divorced. And that really hurt me. I was so hurt. But then when Pastor was just talking this Sunday, that's what it reminded me of. He's like, you don't know how many is dependent on y'all to make it or whatever your
hmm
situation is. And that's what it reminded me of, is that how hurt I was by that. And I didn't live in their household and they're not my family.
Yeah.
But, I'm incarcerated. I'm thinking y'all still together. Everything is everything. And he drop a bomb and, oh, no, they've been, huh?
Right. Like what? What you mean?
No, what happened?
Yeah.
So like I said, but we're just living our own lives. So we'll think we make decisions and we just think that, who cares?
hmm
Nobody's looking at me. Nobody. Yes, there is.
Yeah. They're looking.
No, somebody's depending on you. Like
hmm
Pastor says, someone really is depending on you. You just don't know.
Right.
And that's why the Bible talks about us being a good witness,
hmm
because you don't know who you're affecting.
So did you see any benefits of you being locked up? Meaning, like if you was out, would you kept on, you know?
I would have already been dead by now.
Mm.
I'd have been dead. Me and my fall partner, we both know that without a doubt, because we wasn't doing nothing but getting worse, and we had plans to get worse. Like we had it all mapped out, so it wasn't going to go good. And God seen that,
hmm
and He said, "Yeah, let me go on and
Yeah.
snatch all over here." The thing about it is that we were really close to our pastor, and I believe that's what covered us,
hmm
as us having that real close relationship with him. Me and him still don't know what private prayers he prayed for us, but we know he did
Yeah.
because of the way God did what he did.
Yep.
There's no doubt in our minds that he had really asked God to do something for us. I'm talking about before we got locked up.
Yeah.
He had to have, because God really this is why I say this, is because I know guys that from my generation that died out there in the streets, and they just wasn't as bad as me. I'm like, God, why him? Why?
hmm
He wasn't that bad, like that.
Yeah.
So I'll give you an example. I was going into the jail. I was coming from a court hearing, and I seen one of the guys from the street. When he seen me, he just put his head down and started shaking his head, because he knew that I was going to be like gone for a long time. I'm smiling at him, because I'm just, I'm happy to see him, but he's more like, man, you're finna do a lot of time. But I'm more happy, just like, hey, man, what's going on? What's going on with you? He's like, man, I'm about to go.
Dang.
I said, they're about to let you out right now? He said, yeah. I was like, wow. I said, man, I wish I can go with you. And he said, I wish I can take you with me. And that's the last time we talked to each other. But just a few months later, he was dead.
Mm.
So if he could come back now, he probably swap places with me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they let him out. It's like we swap. It's like we swap places.
Mm-hmm.
He feeling good about getting out. I'm feeling bad about I can't go with him. God says, oh no, you don't want to go with him.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know that right now.
Right.
That was one of the things that just blew me away. I was just, because we will think things are so bad at the time that we're in them, but it'd be really like dodging a bullet.
Yeah.
A lot of times.
Yep.
When we're going through it, we're like, God, why?
Mm-hmm.
And God says, you got to go through what you got to go through, but I'm going to give you so much more.
Mm-hmm.
You just don't know that yet.
Right.
God showed me that I had a wife waiting for me at my church in 2003. He gave me a dream. And I was going down the aisle, down the side aisle, the same aisle that she came down to me. When in the dream, I remember lifting my head up and I was walking to her around the curve of the aisle. As I went to go get close to her and to lift the veil, because all I could see are the eyes and her teeth because she was smiling. But something woke me up right before I could do it.
Mm.
So I was like, wow, why would you wake me up right before? But I knew that God was behind it. I just couldn't see it yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bishop and Mother had introduced her to me.
Mm-hmm.
But I said she was the first one to introduce me for some reason, though.
Mm-hmm.
And as I started talking to her, I started to realize that God was involved.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until a week after I married.
Mm-hmm.
Then he said, remember that dream?
Mm.
It's her.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, God, why you could have been revealed that
Right.
to
Tell
me.
me that right away.
No. You jump on out there.
Mm-hmm.
I said, do it now. Go.
Mm-hmm.
Because, God don't ask us to do that. He say, go.
Yep.
It's what he told. Moses couldn't see no way. God's sitting there telling him, he's like, I got you.
Mm-hmm.
Moses kept coming up with all excuses. After everything God did, he kept, go. Well, Lord, I ain't the best speaker. I'll have your brother help you.
Right.
Go. Well, Lord, how can I tell him I am sent you? Go.
Mm-hmm.
Go. Yeah. You can't see everything now, and I'm telling you to do what I'm telling you to do now. And then you will see as you go on, you will see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so glad that I obeyed the voice of God to where I'm still a member here of Christ Apostolic Temple, because it's so easy just to leave and quit anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a struggle to stay when things get hard.
Mm-hmm.
Me being close to Bishop Jeremiah Reed, God put favor upon me wherever I went. Whatever prison I went to, I had favor. Wherever I went. That's called the umbrella of protection.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you step from up on the umbrella of protection,
Yep.
hey, this is another thing. That person I went down with, we were split up for 10 years. But we both grew up at the same church. We were split up for 10 years. And when I got back around him, I told him, I said, now, do you understand that if when we do get out, that if we don't get in church and get involved and, start living right, I said, God's going to kill us, right? I said, this is our grace period right here.
Yep.
I said, once we get out, I said, if we don't want to act right, I said, that's going to expire.
Yep.
I said, I don't know how long it would take to expire. Because God had already revealed it to me. So I'm talking to him, wanting to know, after these 10 years, what has God revealed to you about what you're going to do when you get out? So I was just letting him know that we have a choice, but we don't.
Right.
Paul said, I am persuaded. That's his saying.
Yep.
I am persuaded. So it's like, he's saying it's not just me. It's what's in me that's pushing me to do what I'm doing. And he's like, I have to produce. I have to.
Yep.
I'd be on the street smoking weed and something would say, go to church. And I would pass the blunt and I would say, hey man, here, I'm about to bounce. Where you going? I'm going to church. They said, huh? Yeah. You won't go to church. I'm going high.
Right.
At least I'm going.
Yep. At least I'm, hey. Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I never let no one discourage me because Bishop Jeremiah Reed didn't raise me like that. I never let no one, the bishop tell me, he said, this is your church. You come in here whenever you get ready. Anybody give you a problem, you let me know.
Mm-hmm.
One thing about Bishop Jeremiah Reed, which is passed on to his son, they love everybody and make everybody feel special.
Yep.
And he gets that from his dad. And one thing I do really appreciate about our current pastor, Dwight Reed, is how he reminds me so much of his dad when it comes to compassion, patience, understanding. I don't know if you have experienced it yet, but if you go in his office and you're talking to him and he's just listening to you, like in some type of, like a split second moment, you will see his dad.
Yep.
Because Bishop would just let you talk. He would let you talk, even if he knew you was lying. He'd just let you talk.
Yeah.
He would just let you talk and let you talk and let you talk. So, one thing I've learned in this process of the passing of my former pastor and over to his son is about I've been reaping the rewards of being obedient
Yeah.
to the last things that my pastor said. I'm reaping them benefits now.
Yeah.
So, like I said, I just want to keep the umbrella of protection around me, my wife, my kids, my household, by being and staying where God wants me to stay.
Yeah.
You know, I got a friend now who has a church and is very successful, and he's got a lot of good things going on. He grew up hard, in a broken home, all that. And what he did in prison is he changed his mindset. What Pastor Dwight is talking about. It's your mindset. I'm going to give you an example. I could go 6-9 months without leaving my cell because we had a shower in the room. So we didn't have to leave. We're in Supermax in Fort Madison.
Okay.
They sitting there like, well, B, what you over there doing? I was like, I'm thinking. They're like, what are you thinking about? I said, I'm thinking about my wife, my kids, and my church. They said, man, I didn't know you had a wife and kids all this time. I said, I don't. I said, but they're out there. They said, huh? I said, I have to get out of here, though, before this stuff comes to pass. I said, this place is holding me back.
Yep.
I have to get out of here first. They said, so you thinking about stuff that ain't already there?
I know, it's already there.
So I said, well, what are you going to do when you get out? Man, I'm going to go back. Shoot, I'm going to go back to I got to get my hustle, get my money up. I said, okay, so you already done placed the dope there, the money there, but my stuff can't be in place in my mind.
Right.
I said, you got me twisted. Oh, I can't think positive things.
Right.
Only negative things come to pass. I said, that's what's wrong with you. This is why I don't come out here talking to y'all, because of the way you think.
Right.
I said, it's stinking thinking. Stinking thinking rubs off on my thinking. So I'm in here thinking how I'm going to get out of this place and stay out. How I'm going to get out, stay out, and not come back.
Right.
That's what I'm over here thinking about. So I don't become like you. So they would get offended by that. And I would say, well, how many times you been in here? I've been here 3-4 times, but there ain't no but. This is my first time. I've just been in there a long time.
Right.
I'm trying to figure out how to not be like you. You should be happy for me. That's what I'm saying. So, and there's like crabs in a bucket. They don't be happy for you. Oh, you found a way out. You figured this stuff out. Why can't I figure it out?
It's your thinking.
Well, they don't want to listen to what I'm trying to say.
Right.
I'm trying to tell them you got to change your mind frame. I sat there and watched a guy, and like I said, he didn't have no upbringing like I had. He came up hard in the hood, struggling on government assistance. I never lived that lifestyle.
Right.
My parents had good jobs. My dad was always in my life. I was at church 4 or 5 days out the week, every single week, unless we was on vacation.
Sure.
My whole childhood. He out here got a church, everything. He changed his mindset. That's what I would have to say to the guys that are in there. They have to, that are trying to get back out here, or the ones that have gotten out and they're struggling. You got to change your mindset. That's what Pastor White was talking about Sunday. It's all your mindset. You got to change the way you currently thinking about whatever it is, and things will start to you'll start to see them start to swift and change right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
God will start to, because see, you speak things into existence.
Yep.
Now, I first learned about that speaking stuff into existence is with two popular rappers I grew up with, where he, in the video, it's like he was already dead and he was just sitting there watching over his mom. Now, this is why he was still alive.
Right.
You brought that. You brought it upon you.
Mm-hmm.
You speaking death
Mhm.
into existence. God will oblige you. Keep talking.
Mm-hmm.
And God will back up.
Yep.
And he will, that umbrella of protection that was over you, you keep speaking certain things into existence and they're going to come. I can't go on social media and just show everybody a whole bunch of money and think that, and somebody like, I know where you live.
Exactly.
I brought it on myself.
Exactly.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then I want to play the victim. Y'all robbed me. They're like, man, hold on, bro. You
Yeah.
showed $50,000
Yeah.
in cash
And this economy?
at your house on live.
Yeah.
They know where
Right.
you at right now.
Yep.
And they broke.
Mm-hmm.
And they gonna come get it.
Right.
It's just how things can go.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned in there, I have to change my mind state too. I'm not in here because I was selling Bibles. I'm in here for doing crime too. So I have to
Right.
change my mindset as well.
Mm-hmm.
Although I do have somewhere to go back to and I have something to fall back on,
Mm-hmm.
my buddy that was in it, he formulated something to go back to. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
He changed his mindset and started reaching out, looking for a church,
Mm-hmm.
looking for a pastor,
Mhm.
looking for a mentor. And now he's got he's at where he's at now. He was in there. The wife that I have now, he prayed for me to have that type of wife when we were in prison.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to you.
Mm-hmm.
I was going through something. I was sad. And he said, bro, I'm going to pray for you. He said, come on, bow your head, grab my hands. And he prayed that. He said, well, Lord, he's choosing to be single for the rest of his time in here. I pray that you reward him for that
Mm-hmm.
and that you give him a woman that's after your own heart, a
Mhm.
woman of God,
Yeah.
and that you give him his heart's desire, and that you give him an attractive young woman. Blah blah blah. Blah.
Mm-hmm.
All the stuff that he prayed for me that day. That's what I got.
Yeah.
That's what I got, and I had that dream after he prayed that prayer for me. This just an inmate who's just trying to do something other than gang bang. He's
Mhm.
tired.
Right.
Once you get tired of being tired, so you got to be tired.
Mm-hmm.
When you're not tired, all you do is fall back on excuses. Well,
Yep.
Bishop, like our pastor said Sunday, you looking for reasons to stay the way that you are.
Yep.
You looking for reasons. So once you get tired of it, once you start, and then pastor always says these two things that are really important, because you can't do what I'm saying without doing these two words. Grow up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I had a choice to make, either grow up or not.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in prison, I said, I can either start when I get out or start now. I said, I'm not starting when I get out.
Right.
I said, I got to start making some changes now.
Mhm.
I got to start making some changes now. So then but we being single for 10 years, all I had was my mama.
Mm-hmm.
I was already a mama's boy. That made me worse.
Right.
Got married. Then I started to realize, okay, now this has to start being kind of reversed.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want my mama to cook me something. She said, have your wife cook you something.
Mm-hmm.
I said, excuse me? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about here. What are you talking about? Mama, I want something. She said, you are married now. That's not my job. I got a husband. I'm hurt. I'm like, Mama,
how dare you? How dare you? What you mean?
I couldn't believe. I'm like, how dare you? You know how long I've been gone.
Mm-hmm.
And you know I've been crazy. Your food. No.
Nope.
She helped me be a man.
Right.
I give my mom props on that.
Right.
But like I said, I would encourage the guys that are struggling, that just got out of prison and they're struggling. They have to have someone of some godliness in their life as a mentor or something. That's got to be key. Even if they're not attending a church, you got to have some form of godliness. I don't care. You got out here. It's spiritual warfare going on out here. And, I know that God is really busy, but so is the devil. That's his job. He doesn't sleep like we do. He don't need to sleep. We need rest. He don't. So he's always doing what he's supposed to be doing, and God is always doing what he's supposed to be doing. But there's a fight going on, and when you stop fighting, then you just start losing the fight.
Yeah.
So I can't just one thing I knew I couldn't just get out of prison and just come out here and just start living without no guidance. Because being in there for a while, you start to think, oh, well, yeah, I know what to do. I don't need nobody. I don't need no pastor telling me what to do. I've been surviving all this time by myself. And no, Bishop Jeremiah Reed say all the time, you can't pastor yourself. If you could pastor yourself, then why would God say, I shall give you pastors? They have to have some type of godly mentor in their life that's speaking words of life into their life and not death.
That's right.
You really don't know. And I try to stress that to my children, that I want them to be rooted and grounded. They have to have their own relationship with God, and they have to have their own relationship with their pastor. I always let them know that I'm your dad. I'm not your pastor. I'm your dad. That's what I am. Because if you make them think that you're like, if you try to be their pastor, then what do they have with the pastor? And then when they grow up and they're not connected to him, and it's your fault, not theirs.
That's right.
So I let them know, hey, when's the last time you talked to your pastor? You need to be going to talk to your pastor. That way, when you get older, you're not ripping and running off somewhere, But you don't know who God's going to swing back around through there. So that's why Bishop Dwight Reed said Sunday, we don't throw nobody away. You don't know what God's going to do.
That's right.
You know what's crazy? Yeah, the first women's marathon, because they didn't used to let women run marathons. They said it was too hard for women. But there was a woman that came in last, and she hadn't got her water at that last stop. And that's what really dehydrated her to the extent to where she could barely even walk. But they were trying to help her, but she knew that if she got any assistance, that she would be disqualified. So she was using all the strength she had to make them get back. Because she said, I'm placing in this race. I don't care if I am last. I'm crossing that finish line. She got a bigger standing ovation. And when she crossed that finish line, she just fell. So what in this life, what we'll do is say, look at them. They crawling, trying to get into the church. I came in standing upright. That ain't how God looking at it. And that ain't how heaven's looking at it. It said, who's first, that's going to be last. And who's last shall be first. And that's what happened with her. She stole the show. Man, reminds me of my pastor. He went away for a while. People counted him out. And now look at him. So, man, it's just a testimony of what. Don't give up.
That's right.
Don't give up. Because God, as long as you be obedient, stay on course with God, he got you. Yep. So that's all I have.
Thank you for listening to our podcast. We hope that you enjoyed today's episode and hope that this testimony has encouraged you to keep pressing on. Stay up to date with our latest episodes on the AON app, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Music, and Amazon Music. Stay tuned for more content. Like, share, and comment. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram at The Witness Spot.
The Witness Spot.